also said in that interview that Sean Payton is his favorite coach. So, and I see why. They're very close. All right, Mina, do you like what you saw from the Broncos offense last night?
Well, I really liked what I saw from the guy we just watched, J.K. Dobbins, and that run game, which is so important for Denver, because coming into this, they had not been running the football well, and there was the expectation this offseason, you have this incredible offensive line that was one of the best run-blocking offensive lines in football last year. They changed up the running back room to Dobbins and R.J. Harvey, and it would take off, and it just hasn't. But in this game, he had a 69% success rate on the ground, 0 run stuffs. Obviously, some of that had to do with the level of competition. But it's so important, Dan, because of the nature of the passing offense as well. This is a passing offense that is built on Bo Nix booting out from under center, right? It's boots and nakeds. They cut the field in half. Defenses have started to play that super aggressively. I'm sure you've noticed these defensive linemen peeling out on Nix. They have to be able to punish them for it on the ground. And so to see them do that is really good. It's going to really help the passing offense as well. And that, to me, is the vision going forward. This is based on the run game and Bo Nix building off of that.
Yeah, the good stuff last night was that run game. The good stuff was Bo Nix. His feet looked a lot more calm than it had for a couple times, or at least early in games this season. I thought the 4x1 stuff that they got to last night was really good, and the different things they did out of it. Sometimes these teams run 4x1 and they're running the same play over and over and over again. You saw a gap scheme. You saw a little bit of a keeper for their offense. You saw RPO. So I liked some of their 4x1 stuff. I really did. That being said, I also didn't love the pass protection. I thought that the pass protection against a pass rush that's not very good was a little too leaky. It was leaky in week 3. It was leaky again in week 4. I think that's something just to pay attention to moving forward. That offensive line, I think, is better in pass protection than it has played in the last 2 weeks. That's got to be solidified a little bit. Quarterback and his feet, calmness have to help it. They got to go together. But there was more pressure than I had anticipated in that game.
Yeah, not that this is related, but there were a ton of penalties on both sides. There were a bunch of penalties on the Broncos. I'm like, woo, what a game. What a night.
Y'all heard a bunch of them.
Yeah, well, we definitely did. Marcus, we did show you the Nick Benito sack. Yeah. What stood out to you about the other side of the ball for the Broncos?
Just the way they're able to generate pressure. And listen, man, I know we've said it and we've talked about this guy. No, Patrick Surtain is out of his mind covering people, dude. Like, yeah. And again, you want to get Jamar Chase the ball as much as possible, but they figured that if we can take care of one, we can get pressure on this quarterback and make Jake Browning uncomfortable. Now, this goes into multiple conversations that I've had with Dan and MK about the Cincinnati Bengals. I've been asking, like, they give themselves no chance. The way that they play football now, especially against a team like this that can create pressure, runs those games up front. And the pressure that is put on the offensive line for the Cincinnati Bengals is unfair.
Yeah.
It's unfair to ask them time and time again to try to not only sort where these things are happening as a defensive line. It's not only too much pressure for pressure that defenses create, and they know that they are either trying to push the ball downfield to T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. How can we get those guys taken out of the game and we can tear the quarterback out the frame? And that is the issue for for Cincinnati right now. This is a Zach Taylor problem to me. It's not so much about this football team.
You mentioned Surtain. I just want to take a minute to shout out Riley Moss, his partner at quarterback, because their entire game plan was let's just throw fades at T. Higgins and see if he comes down with any of them against Riley Moss.
Early.
And I thought he held his own in this one. I mean, T's got like four inches of height on him, and he gets targeted a lot. That's the misfortune of playing opposite Patrick Surtain. But I feel like he is getting healthy. That was an issue at the end of last year, and I thought this was a tremendous performance from the cornerback, too.
Man, shut him down. There's no other way to.
Yeah, I mean, again, I would like something more than, hey, let's just throw 7 deep balls on 32.
Right.
I'd like a little bit more creativity in there, but.
Obviously his season's done, and our focus is, things that you want to avoid in something that serious was avoided.
Glad you're with us today. Dan Orlovsky's here, Marcus Spears, Mina Kimes as well. Dan, you were in the building last night when that happened. What was it like?
It was tough to watch. You can immediately feel the kind of gravity of it, the air of the moment kind of get lifted because everyone saw what looked to be pretty severe experience before. And in the midst of that, and I can't imagine his emotions, he handled himself really well leaving the field. And I can't imagine how difficult that was. And then my thought was in the game, how does the team respond? Like, how do the teammates respond? Sometimes that could just completely distract you from one of the reasons you're there is to play a game. And I was also very impressed with the Dolphins as a team for the way that they were able to compartmentalize, play the game, and try to, at least in that moment, move forward.
Yeah, they got their first win of the season and did a nice job. Marcus, we know Tyreek's impact, but when you think about it from the defensive standpoint, how much easier is it to take on that offense if he's not on the field?
Yeah, they lose a lot. I mean, in your week of preparation, he is the guy that you're pointing to saying we can't allow Tyreek Hill to wreck this football game. And you try to come up with plans and schemes to keep him intact. Now, a lot of people have tried it, and they still got
right.
knocked out by Tyreek. But I think a lot of it just is an adjustment, especially with Tua. Right? You make easy throws to Tyreek and you get explosive plays. Yeah. And you push the ball down the field and he creates a way to take the top off of a defense to open up other areas of the football field. So you miss a lot just by him being on the field beyond his playmaking. The one thing I did like was Darren Waller got involved last night.
Yeah.
And I think he can become a guy that can kind of dictate some coverage kill, but he creates a mismatch enough. I think defenses are going to have to vacate some areas of the field to try to get him covered.
Yeah, I think moving forward without Hill, the offense is actually going to look like a lot similar to what we saw last night. It's all about misdirection, getting the defense flowing one way, going horizontally in the other direction. Tua was 7 for 7 on crossers. They clearly identified that against the Jets man coverage being a weakness. But 6 of those throws were not to Tyreek Hill. Jalen Waddle, Malik Washington, Darren Waller, all 3 of those guys have pull-away speed, and I think Mike McDaniels really gets to get them open and create traffic. Losing Hill, however, does change the way defenses can.
I think a big part of this is Jalen Waddle ready to take that big step forward? He's kind of been that 1B benefactor, Tyreek getting so much attention. Can he emerge as a guy? Waller's a big piece. Those 2 young backs in Achane and Ollie Gordon are big. I just think, to Mina's point, last night we saw a style that was different in their offense. Tua was under center 17 snaps last night. That's very different for this football team. I'm not telling everybody that I think they're going to go on this run and win the AFC East. And this injury is impactful. There's no doubt. But I do think that there were some things last night formula-wise of underneath the center, running the football, some of those bootlegs to get Tua. Tua was hit twice last night.
Yeah.
Wow.
Twice.
Yeah. Dio, let me ask you this question, bro. Do you think it's a sense within this offensive staff now to dig a little deeper into their concepts and the things that they want to do to try to create what this misdirection you're talking about?
I know it is. Yeah. That's not
the injury does that.
Absolutely. And that was something that every person that we talked with, Mike McDaniel, Tua, they all said, we can't live in the shotgun, throw it versus 2 high shell anymore. You know, we have to make the run game part of our offense. We have to try to – Mike McDaniel's saying was, I can't allow defenses to play it safe and win. Yep. Play that shell. And so I think there was the philosophy of running the football more even before this injury and allowing their offensive line to fire off the football. It was a good start to that last night.
Let's hear from Tyreek Hill. New on NFL Live, he shouted out his supporters before heading into surgery today. Take a listen.
All right, guys. Tyreek Hill here is the cheetah. About to go in for this surgery. Keep your boy in your prayers. You guys have been awesome, man. Fans Nation, just the whole entire NFL have been amazing. You know, sending me lots of love, lots of prayers, and I'm absolutely honored, man. You know, granted the situation, but I love you guys so much, and hope to see you soon.
Dan, you said it. The way he's handled all of this has been commendable. All right, let's show you what happened in the game. Tua Tagovailoa and the Dolphins taking on Justin Fields and the Jets on Monday Night Football.